Bournemouth have never beaten Manchester City, but this weekend the Cherries could play a crucial part in the title race. All eyes are going to be on the Vitality Stadium. It's going to be a big one. Welcome to the big Back of the Net match preview. My name's Sam.
And I'm Tiggs.
I look forward to football Saturdays, don't you?
I love football on Saturdays, yeah, absolutely. And we got a later kick-off and I'm getting really excited about it and we're going to go. And then I remember who we're playing.
Manchester City, the Sky Blues, the Citizens. Look, they are 4 points behind Liverpool. Liverpool are in Carabao Cup action, as we know, against Chelsea in the final on Sunday. So after this match week, it could be a gap of only 1 point, but we're hoping that it will be more than that. Can Bournemouth at least get a point against them? We'll have to see. By the way, if you're brand new here, there are a couple of things you can do, because we're Back of the Net, we're an AFC Bournemouth fan channel. We also have half an hour on the Premier League, but what can they do, Tiggs?
They can like this video. You can also subscribe, because this here, what you're watching, is just the tip of the iceberg, as Sam said. There's a lot more groovy content to come. And you can also click the little bell thing if you're the type of person who really wants to get their Bournemouth fix or their Premier League fix straight away. It will come straight to you.
But you know what isn't groovy content?
What's that?
That is a montage of the last time Manchester City came to Dean Court. Play VT.
One break, one goal. 2-0. I mean, we've just committed suicide on the pitch. Yeah. 1 minute. Thank God for that. 4-0. Mepham, own goal. Shot came in, it was going wide, but Mepham's arse was in the way. 50 minutes, 0-4. Got one back.
Yeah, so that was February last year. They were 3-0 up at half-time. Goals from Alvarez, Haaland and Foden. Meps then scored in his own net. Jefferson Lerma did score a consolation for Bournemouth. It was a 4-1 loss. Not a good day. And then earlier this season, we went to their place, and you know what? No, they won 6-1.
Yeah, everything the same, yeah.
And Andoni Iraola for Bournemouth, he played a back five in that game, didn't he? And he went on to say, I regret doing that.
Yeah, because I don't think it made any difference to the outcome. I'm not saying that if we played a back four, it would have made any kind of difference at all. But we've done that quite a lot when we played Man City. Even under previous managers, we've changed that system, and it's never really done anything great for us, has it?
I think we might as well just stick to our strengths and see what happens. Look, it would be certainly good if we could run them close. But Pep Guardiola, he certainly got his team back in contention in the title race again this season. After 25 games, City are in second place with 56 points. There you can see the league table. Now, last season, after 25 games, they were also in second, but with a point fewer. But look, City and Liverpool, who are you fancying? Who are you fancying?
For me, it's still City.
Do you reckon?
I do think so, yeah.
They've got to play each other as well, albeit at Anfield, but that could have a massive bearing.
That could have a huge bearing, but yeah, for me, I just think... I don't think they've been firing as well as they were last season, but then I just feel like that's all to come for them this season. And with De Bruyne back now, and...
Yeah, they're a tough nut to crack. Let's take a look at the form table as well. And look, it's pretty flawless. The draw that they got was against Chelsea. That was at home. Liverpool doing pretty well as well. 3 wins in a row. They're up there. Let's not look at where Bournemouth are. Okay, we will. We haven't registered a win in, 2024, have we? The last win was, I think, against Fulham on Boxing Day, wasn't it?
Yeah.
In the league, that is.
Yeah, it would have been,
Yeah. great times to be a Bournemouth fan. But there are some positives, because in some of the performances that we've seen recently from Bournemouth, we're certainly not shot shy.
No.
I think we were unlucky to not get points in certain games, not least Newcastle, where it was a last minute winner. It was 10 minutes of injury time. I think it was on 92 minutes or something like that. Matt Ritchie, our former hero turned villain on Tyneside, scoring late. But the performance as a whole, I thought was actually really good.
Yeah, no, I did. I think we were just a little bit unfortunate in front of goal. I think Dom Solanke on another day, he scores a hat-trick. And I just, not quite clicking for him right now, but he's still getting in the goals,
Yeah.
And it would be nice to see some goals come from other parts of the pitch a little bit more as well.
Yeah.
But I thought, we definitely looked like we matched them. And I think, the West Ham game as well, I think we looked good in that.
Yeah, another one where I came out frustrated. But it's a good feeling to be coming out frustrated, thinking we should have won games, I think.
Yeah, or could have won at the very least.
Exactly. So this game is live on Sky. It's a 5:30 kickoff. There's also an 8 p.m. as well on TNT that evening. But if you can't get to the game and you need updates on the fly, Tiggs, there is a certain score app that is absolutely superb. Do you know what it is?
Would it be SofaScore?
It certainly is.
Okay.
And this match preview is powered by SofaScore. It's our favourite footballing app because, do you know what it does?
I don't know everything. You have to run me through it.
Real-time goal notifications, right? The notifications are often faster than when you watch on TV on like Soccer Saturday. Okay. Player and team information. Love a heat map. Statistics. All these kind of ground jewels one. Hey. We've got that. And also, it is the highest rated live score app on the App Store and Google Play. We get our average positions from there. Every download helps back of the net. So if you go to afcbpodcast.com/SofaScore, check out the link in the description, check out the card. There's no excuse. It's a free download, but it honestly is a superb footballing app. Make sure you download it round about now. Okay, so on the way on this channel, plenty of content covering the game at the weekend. This man's beautiful face, right? You're going to see it on the next video as well, as you chat to the fans outside the stadium, mate. And we're hoping we're going to be in fairly positive spirits, but will we be? Not too sure, but that's always good for an eclectic mix of raw opinion, isn't it?
Yeah, and rain or shine, day or night, win or loss, we will be there. We will be talking to people. And then as the day goes on, Sam captures it all. And we actually, the next day, one of my favourite things, is there is a match day vlog out.
Yeah, love that. Match day vlog, yeah, and some raw scenes. And you know where we're going to be, by the way?
No, I don't.
We're going to be in the North Stand, in the new safe standing.
Oh, okay.
So if you're a Man City fan thinking, well, we've had that for ages. Well, we haven't. We brought it in for a number of rows in our North Stand. The away section is going to be safe standing as well. Everyone stands anyway, but it's going to be, the rails are going to be put in. I think it's the existing seats, but they're just putting in the rails. But we'll be able to stand. Yeah. So, we're going to be capturing that. And also, there's going to be a second look on the Monday too. We've got a couple of guests for that as well. And it's going to be filmed at Back of the Net Towers. Looking forward to getting some more opinion about the game. Whether it's going to be a minute-by-minute dissection, I don't know. It depends.
Depends what happens.
How the game goes.
Sometimes we just go...
Yeah, absolutely. So, last time we played City at their place, it was a 6-1 humbling for the Cherries. So, since our game up in Manchester, City, on their travels, they've beaten Luton 3-2, they've beaten Everton 3-1, Newcastle United 3-2. Their last away game was Brentford. They won 3-1. I think Brentford took the lead just before half-time. Yeah. Liverpool fan accounts, the Red Man, Anfield Wrap was saying, hang on, something's happening here. Phil Foden just scored a hat-trick, they were back to their best. They've drawn one game as well, and that was their 4-4 against Chelsea. There was an away loss, though, 1-0 against Aston Villa. But in the away league table, City topped the last 4 away with 4 wins. We can take a look at their recent results since the turn of the year, and maybe you can just talk me through them. They started off with I would say, fairly routine FA Cup match against Huddersfield Town, really.
Even without being their very best players on the pitch, they did a very good job. Newcastle, Man City, I thought for a while that was going to be a draw, actually.
Yeah.
That was a good game. And and both teams kind of went for it. And I think that's the thing with when you play Man City is that if you give them a chance to attack, they will get goals against you.
Yeah. They then had the FA Cup, and a certain ex-Cherry popped up late in that, I think, didn't he?
Okay.
Yeah, scored a very late goal. They won it at the death, 1-0. And look, they seem to just be on this great momentum at the moment, because then it was routine.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, against Burnley, they're not having the best of times, and then Brentford, routine. Everton. Oh.
But they did hold them for a bit, like Everton.
A little bit,
I think they held them until about 60, 65 minutes. But
yeah, and I think 2-0 against Man City is actually a really good scoreline.
It's actually we'd take it.
Oh, exactly. And some teams have managed to hold them for a little while. Yeah, Luton did quite well against them, to be honest.
Yeah.
But then as soon as the cracks start to show, you can't hold out that long. You've got to have something else going on.
Champions League, 3-1 against Copenhagen. I mean, they're going to go through. I suspect they'll go relatively fringe players in the return fixture, you'd think. The 1-1 against Chelsea, though, was maybe a bit of a surprise. Definitely. Sterling scoring against his old club, but Man City, they tried to get the win, and I think the shots, the possession, everything was all showing that Man City have got to win this, and they didn't.
Yeah.
So that was something that Liverpool fans liked. And then a 1-0 win against Brentford as well. I'm looking at these games, I'm thinking, they're not blowing teams away, are they?
No, but then that kind
of... Bournemouth.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the thing, isn't it? It feels like they're in their lull, but we know that they will burst up out of it at some point. Can we get another poorer week from Manchester City? That'd be great.
Well, can I tell you something? City have conceded in each of their last 6 away games. Wow, does that excite you?
It does. Really? It is. Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it?
Or does that mean it's just going to be 5-1 instead of 5-0?
I'll have to wait and see. Do you know we talked about Nathan Ake there. The other day I found out I think he's now played more games for Manchester City than he played for us.
Wow, that's mad. That's mad. It's funny, at the time, I remember him being linked with Man City, and they were saying, why are we buying a player from Bournemouth? But I think he's shown the class he has. So I tried to kind of lure you in with this stat that maybe tempted you a little bit and made you lick your lips. But I'll also tell you that in their last 2 away games, City have had 52 shots, 26 on target, with 6 goals. So they're rather potent.
Ooh, wow.
Can't wait for that. Do you want to know the head-to-head as well? Right, so we're going to put it on screen now. It's not great. Here it is. I'm not seeing a W anywhere.
How far back can we go?
This is as far back as it does go. So the first time we met competitively, 1987, and look, we got a couple of draws along the way. A famous 3-all actually in 1989, and then I remember being at the one in 99 as well at the old Dean Court in the League Division 2. But after that, we didn't meet for another 16 years or so.
They flew up the leagues then, didn't they?
Yeah, and they are one of the only sides we've never taken a point against. Even a point against. I mean, we've been close though, haven't we?
We have, yeah, on like one occasion.
Well, yeah, I mean that home one, obviously Charlie Daniels won a goal. I think Sterling popped up late. But also, do you remember during COVID we ran them close? They were 2-0 up. We brought it back to maybe 2-1. Was it Brooks that put it in the back of the net? Or I can't remember. Wilson? No, Brooks.
That's such a funny time. Yeah.
And then we banged at the door for the last sort of 10 minutes or so, but we couldn't quite get over the line. But other than that, absolutely scary. Now, this match could set a new... I said this at the start of the show. This match could set a new Football League record. It's never taken a team 21 attempts to win their first match against each other.
Is that what we're at, 21 attempts?
Yeah.
Is that Cup and League, presumably?
No, just in the league.
Just in the league?
Yeah.
Because Football League record,
yeah.
Oh, man. 21.
And the current record is held by AFC Bournemouth, who are winless in 20 attempts against Manchester City.
So we just break our own record.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
In all our home games against Man City, look, there's the stats: 1-0, drawn 1, lost 8, and away it's not much better. Of course, no wins, but drawn 2, lost 18. How are we going to win this? How are we going to give them a game? Is it a case of, okay, here's an argument. We've got Leicester City in the cup on Tuesday?
Yeah.
Do you think Iraola might have half an eye on that, maybe? Or do you think he's going to go as strong as he possibly can against City and then maybe use the game against Leicester to... Because they're under a little bit of pressure from Leeds, not much, but Leeds are breathing down the necks a little bit. So the league is not a foregone conclusion in the Championship for the Foxes. But what do you think? Like, what would you do if you were Andoni?
If I was Andoni, I'd probably go as strong as I can for both, because I think that's what he'll do.
Yeah.
I genuinely do.
He takes cup competition
He
seriously.
takes them really seriously, yeah. And I think he'll want to show what he'll have in his head is in the league is he will want to address the mistakes that happened last time. And even if we don't win, even if we don't draw, that he lowers the goal spread there.
Yeah.
So that's what I think he'll set out to do. But whether he'll go defense, I think going defensive didn't work.
No.
In terms of a change up, maybe he'll think about very specific players to play against other players. Maybe that's the way he'll go.
Been really interesting. By the way, if you ever want to check a few stats, check out the Vitals forum before every game, and we use Matt's stats for this specific section because looking at the last 4 league games for Manchester City, there were 3 home games: Everton, Chelsea and Brentford, 1 away at Brentford. Man City gained 10, although XG suggested that 12 maximum points was more likely. The average positions, you can see them for the last 4 games, the ones we spoke about. Man City, they do press high. The only exception was against Everton, actually, where they left a player fairly deep. That's probably wary of Everton's long ball there. But I think this is a game, Tiggs, where we're going to see a lot of Manchester City in our half having a lot of the ball most of the time, and Bournemouth retreating. But if that doesn't smack counter-attack to you, I don't know what does.
No, and I think we've so got to be wary that the players that they've got and the money that the players that they've got, the quality of the players they've got, they are good footballers everywhere.
Yeah.
And so where you can kind of press really high on their back line and hope someone makes a mistake, the chances of those players making a mistake are I think a lot less likely.
Yeah.
I think because they're all good footballers with their feet. I mean, Ake was one of the best that we had with his feet, wasn't he?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, but when I just saw those average positions then, we'll just show it again there. Against Chelsea, look at that. You've got 2 players on the edge of their penalty box, which is absolutely nuts. But, like you say, the things you can maybe take into solace, even in their last home games. Look, Everton only just beat him 2-0. Chelsea a draw, and Brentford, they only just managed to win relatively late on against them as well. So look, Bournemouth have certainly got a chance.
What's interesting about those as well is they are actually a little bit different.
They are, yeah.
So on certain games you can see that there's a more of a inclination to come down or sort of be down on the left side or down the right side, or it's interesting.
The bookies have got the odds at 2-5, which equates of what Man City 70% chance of winning. So 30% of that is either Bournemouth winning or getting a draw.
30%.
Can you see it though? We want to be positive about it.
At some point, I saw somebody say this. I think it was on the Vitals forum actually. At some point, we've got to register some points against them. At some point, but tricky time to do it. Really, we're not in the best form.
Yeah. But you know what? I think Liverpool fans, they're going to be watching and hoping that we can disrupt the title race. And it's one of these things, we need to score first.
Absolutely.
It's
Absolutely.
so crucial that we need to score first. But will we? We've done it, once before? It would be nice to do it again. I wonder what players are going to be available. Well, look, we're going to take a look at Premier injuries to show you the stuff that you already basically know. James Hill out, Fredericks out. We know that Phil Billing, this is the last match he'll serve a suspension for. Tyler Adams is back doing some stuff, isn't he?
He's on some grass, I think. That's what I've seen. So he's doing something. They've got some special people in watching him.
Yeah.
To make sure that it's right this time. So I think he could be back soon. I think he could be back soon.
Max Aarons with a muscle injury. He's going to be out for some time. But Romain Favre, he's currently being assessed, and we don't quite know whether he's going to be available or not. He's said to be 50-50. As for Manchester City, well, one thing I've got to say, barely any injuries. Guardiola, Jack Grealish, not too sure when he's going to be out.
That's good. I take something from that because he can be a pain.
Yeah, he can be, but I suppose the good thing is they haven't got Raheem Sterling anymore, who always scored against us. But then every other player is capable of scoring. I remember once at their place where we managed to keep Haaland out.
Yeah, we did. And then
it was almost a badge of honour, wasn't it?
Yeah, and then everyone else scored instead.
Yeah, exactly. And
had a great game.
That's the problem. Now later on, we'll get the team from Lewis from It's LB, great YouTube channel, and he's predicted his his Man City side, but what he has said, Pep likes to change it so often. He could do anything.
I think whoever they put out, or their team, they're just so strong. I mean, their second 11, if you want to call it that, would probably do better in the Premier League than most teams, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Do you know my mum calls him Sean Connery.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know. She thinks he looks like Sean Connery. Pep, do you think Pep looks like Sean Connery? Just thinking.
No. Oh, well, let's do the tombs.
That was awful.
Look, we're going to go through the teams. We'll give you the ref later because there is a conversation point about the referee. It'll probably lead you to realise who it is. But we're going to start with AFC Bournemouth, then Tiggs. And go on, what are you thinking for this one?
Yeah, I think there are question marks. We talked about this and other people have as well. So it's not just us. We're not being mean. There are question marks over Neto, but I don't think it's probably a good idea if you're playing Man City to go and change your goalkeeper.
No, you're right. Yeah.
Against Man City. So Neto will be in goal. He'll be the captain as well, I would imagine, for the game, as he has been.
Yeah.
Back four, interesting. I still think Kelly's your best.
Yeah.
He's too good a defender not to be on the pitch. And if we think that we're going to go back four, then I think Kelly still ends up as your left back.
I think so, because he's pacey, he's got more experience than Kirk has, put it that way, and just the way he outmuscled players like Almiron, I thought was absolutely brilliant. I thought he was really good in that game. I know he slipped or lost his balance or whatever you want to say for their goal at the end when Matt Ritchie scored, but apart from that, I thought he was pretty flawless. So yeah.
Yeah, and I think it'll probably be Senesi in the middle.
Yeah.
And Zabs.
Yeah.
I mean, those two are trying to build a partnership together. Right back. I mean, I think Adam Smith. I think he's such a great player. I think he's going to have a hard game.
Yeah.
A really, really tricky game, and there was a bit of controversy, obviously, in the last game that we played against Newcastle over their penalty and his decision to hold for so long.
Yeah.
That was the thing that came out of that. So I think he'll retain his place. I mean, what else can we do, really?
Yeah, no, exactly. I think he's very wily, and what frustrates me about those kind of shirt pulls, you see that so often.
All the time, everywhere.
You see it all the time, and it's never punished, and it's so typical that we get done, and it wasn't just that fact, it was the offside factor, when put all together it just felt a little bit harsh. Even Adam Pearce, the Newcastle fan, said I would feel a bit hard done by if I was a Cherries fan here. But okay, apart from that, the two in front, because we play a 4-2-3-1, as you can see.
Yeah, I think it's going to be Cook and it's going to be Christie.
Yeah,
I think it was both their birthdays recently, wasn't it?
Oh, was it?
I think it was.
Happy birthday to you, Christie. By the way, I thought it was brilliant against Newcastle. Oh, did you see the club on Thursday? I think it was. They put out this tweet that had like 2.5 minutes of like Ryan Christie
the
as best.
best.
Honestly, just in recent games, and I thought both Cook and Christie against Fulham, I thought were not great. But they certainly pulled together, and in the last game against Newcastle, I thought they were brilliant. It's going to be a hard game for them, of course, but with Christie's work rate, I think we'll at least be competitive in the middle of the pitch, which is what we need. And then Lewis Cook alongside him.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, the only other option there would probably be to bring in Scott.
Yeah.
But I think those two have just played so well together. I think you're playing against a really strong opposition. You want them to in there. When Adams comes back, he'll have to push him hard.
Yeah.
And I expect him to. He'll get some minutes. But yeah, I like those two together. I do.
I think that Cliver, I think he's got to start in that kind of number 10 role. I think so. Because Alex Scott, I don't think was overly effective in that position when he played there. And Cliver, you could see the amount he presses, but I just think, and I said this on the last second look when chatting with Jeff, I think he combines well with Solanke. When you look at his average position, he's right next to him, where any other player, when you've played him there, there's always that distance, and you saw the little combinations, the way they play. So I think he's integral. He presses as well. I mean, whether he's going to force the Man City defence into mistakes, I don't quite know. And then we've got the kind of dilemma on the left and right, what we do. I mean, I'll leave this to you. Could be Sinistera, could be Tavernier, could be Semenyo, Ouattara. We don't quite know.
I mean, I like Semenyo.
Yeah.
I really want to see him continue to play. I think we do look a lot better with him.
Yeah.
And he's so direct.
Yeah.
And even that goal that he scored against Newcastle.
Really good.
He made that.
He hits balls hard as well. Really does.
Absolutely. On the other side, Tav's not been amazing, to be honest, but I know he can work hard.
Yeah.
And for me, I think you keep him in.
Do you think he maybe offers something more defensively? Because he's played wing back before, and maybe putting Sinistera there would be a little bit of a risk, maybe.
Yeah, I think so, and I think that gives you the option then if Tav would drop back and play more of a kind of a wing back role, you can move Kelly across and you can shore up a little bit and end up with a 5, and then change it back again. But
then you just wonder, because I'm presuming Kyle Walker, we'll come on to Lewis's team shortly. Kyle Walker would be at right back, so you've got a Tavernier Walker mix up. Tavernier's got he's not quick, but he's got this acceleration that manages to take him away from players and these tricky feet.
When the ball's at his feet, he seems to be a lot quicker.
Yeah, I agree. But would Sinistera do something? I don't know. Who are you playing up front?
Oh, who could it be? Kiefer. Oh no, he's not here anymore. Dom Solanke, absolutely. Although I think this is a game, depending how it goes, where I could see him. If things aren't going well and we end up with a bit of a 3-0 down,
take him off.
Bring on
actually, that's a good shout. Yeah,
because
I
think we need to see him. He needs to see how he's going to work in that team. Or maybe you even change it and you do something like you take Clivert off and put him out and just see if him and Dom can link up a little bit more.
Yeah, absolutely agree with that. Right, on to Manchester City then. There you can see the formation, and Lewis from ITSLB has gone for the following side. So Ederson, across the back we got Walker, Diaz, John Stones, Nathan Ake, the return. And then, I mean, look at this going forward. Rodri, Foden, Alvarez, Bernardo, Haaland, Doku on the left. Ugh, that is a worry. And you know what? Doku, against us, he was brilliant on that left-hand side. He absolutely tore us to pieces. Yeah, he did. I think he scored one, he assisted another. He was absolutely superb. And there is a chance that he could tie Adam Smith up in knots. Yeah,
it is a bit of a concern to be fair. And Adam Smith won't be bothered by it. He'll be looking forward to it. But yeah, I think that might be a game where if he does keep on, we might have to make a change just to give Adam Smith a bit of a break.
Right then, on to the referee. Who is the ref in charge, Tigsy?
Oh, close shave as to whether I remember this one or not. It's Mr. sort of, isn't it?
What?
Gillette.
The best a man could get.
Yeah, shave, yeah.
Jared Gillette, whatever, however it's pronounced. He's the Aussie.
Yeah.
He's famous for the mic'd up thing that he did, but famous in Bournemouth fans' eyes for not being good then.
He's a Brentford fan, isn't he? We've had some awful games. Well, not some awful games. We've had some awful feeling decisions from him.
So, wasn't it the playoff semi at their place that he refed?
Yeah.
Sending Meps. I mean, that probably was the right decision.
Yeah, and then penalty against Lloyd Kelly as well.
Yeah.
And then I believe, how did Gary O'Neill say it he called his decision scandalous.
Yeah.
Scandalous. Yeah.
So, Gillette's going to be the referee. Cannot wait for that. Right then, on to your predictions. Just take time out, right? You can see below. Just scroll down a little bit. You can still hear us, right? You can still hear us. Scroll down. There's a comments line. Write your prediction in there. I'll be really interested to see, because there's some usuals. Chris Hubble, Liam, there are others. They're always optimistic, and I like that from you guys. But we are playing Manchester City, so what's your prediction? We'll heart it if we like it.
Yeah.
Right, I've given you enough time to think now. What are you going for?
It's really hard when you ask this, because at the end of the day, I don't want to see us lose. So, hey, look, Brentford were a goal. I'm going to go for a 1-1. I'm going to give us our first ever point against Man City.
Realistic or go with the heart?
Well, I'll tell you what, I went with heart, didn't I, there?
You know what? 0-0.
0-0?
Just imagine if we... But then they have scored.
When was the last time we had a 0-0?
I can't remember. No, it's not going to be 0-0. 2-1 Man City. 2-1. Yeah. And that's being
nice, isn't it?
Probably optimistic on us. Oh, who knows?
It could be a 4-4. Like it was against Chelsea that time. Yeah.
That would be superb if it was. So look, Make sure you have subscribed. Plenty of content on the way. Fan cams, vlog, second look, and then we're into our FA Cup content where Cherries are 2 games away from Wembley. If we beat Leicester, just imagine if we get a favourable draw. That would be massive for the club. Can't wait for that. Tiggs, it's been an absolute pleasure, sir.
Well, thank you for having me on, mate. I've very much enjoyed it. It's been good.
I'm looking forward to sitting next to you on Saturday.
Be lovely. Shake on, not shirk.
Up the cherries.
Up the
See you at D-Court. Bye-bye.